U.S. News report says depending on the number of kids you have, a college education is the single most expensive thing you will buy outside of funding your own retirement. Bottom line, it pays to avoid costly mistakes.
Yeah, that hurts a little bit for people to hear. Chad Harback and J.W. Hindman are college funding specialists, and they're here now from Integrated College Planning to tell us how to avoid those mistakes, right, guys?
We hope so.
Yeah, nice to have you back. I think this is definitely on the mind of many parents now that we're kind of going into these, you know, the winter semester for schools. Kids and parents are starting to really try and nail down what's happening after high school. Is this a good time? Is this too late? Is this too early for parents to kind of start thinking about college?
It's a great time to start, whether you're a sophomore or a senior.
Okay.
What should parents of high school juniors and seniors be doing right now?
Yeah.
The juniors should be starting to think about taking their ACT and getting that nailed down. And the seniors should be in the application process.
What about the SAT? Because a lot of people are under the impression that Midwestern schools do not accept those scores.
That's a myth. Did you know that? The ACT...
I love the way he says it.
Yeah.
It's a myth.
Did you know it?
Did you know that?
A lot of families think that because the guidance counselor are telling them to take the ACT.
Yeah.
The ACT is a speed reading test. If your student's a great reader, they're going to do well on the ACT. The SAT is a logic test. So depending on how your student's mind works, some kids are going to be better off taking the SAT versus ACT. And all of the schools in the Midwest will take the SAT.
And it's not like a ding against you if that's what you have versus an ACT.
No.
They're equal.
I call it putting your best foot forward.
Yes. Well, it's smart to test where you're the strongest. For financial aid, you say financial aid can be hazardous to your wealth. Why is that?
Financial aid night can be hazardous to your wealth. It's, you know, most people are under the impression that you fill out a few forms and you submit them, and mysteriously, March and April of the senior year, you're going to get back a great financial aid award. And there's just a lot more to it than that.
Let's talk expected family contribution. What is it, and why is it important to understand what your number is?
You're going to want to know what your EFC, expected family contribution, is early in the process. And the reason that you'd want to know that is because if you could lower it and possibly have more of a need from the college and therefore get more of a financial aid award, you're going to want to know that early so that you could potentially not have to pay as much for college.
What are some of the common mistakes that people make when looking at financial aid?
What we see is a lot of misfunding potentials. They end up, they think they're doing a great job and they're saving in the right way, but it potentially could cost them free money from the colleges.
What is free money? I want to explain that because a lot of people think it means scholarships and that you have to have a brilliant student in order to be eligible for scholarships.
Well, we like to say that all colleges aren't created equal. So a lot of colleges actually will give a lot more money if they're a private school. Okay, so a lot of people get what I call the sticker shock of the private colleges, and they say, wow, it's $50,000 to go to that school. There's no way I want to send my child there. And unfortunately, it might be cheaper to go to a private college than a state school. So if you don't apply to those schools and you don't look at them, then you're not going to get the financial aid. And when you talk about the free financial aid, you're talking about grants, scholarships.
I can attest to that. It was less expensive for me to go to a private college based on grants and scholarships and financial aid versus going to a state school. So I think it's so important for you to know those numbers and be able to make the best choice based on how much each school will truly give you, because they do, like you said, sometimes they have more opportunities. Is it too late for seniors to be applying and doing all this? You kind of mentioned seniors are okay still.
We're getting toward the end of that season. Really, the parents need to really take a look at their financial planning, what they've done so far, and how it's going to impact their ability to get financial aid. And there's some last-minute things we can do to make them look better on the forms.
You have some free workshops coming up. We're going to give details in just a second, but what will people learn there? Is there anything in particular they should bring to these workshops?
Well, you know, actually, they're open minds, because what we find is that people who come to our workshops leave with a lot of information that they had no idea about. And they will typically then come to a consultation where we will actually discuss what their EFC is, as well as we'll discuss some terms that they really need to know at the workshops so that they can actually understand what it is that they don't understand.
Yeah. It's better to know. Here's the information for integrated college planning and their free workshops that you can attend to find out your EFC for college. The free workshops are from 6:30 to 7:45 November 5th in Franklin and Pewaukee, and then November 7th in Germantown. You can register today at integratedcollegeplanning.com, and when you show up, they're located on Silvernail Road in Pewaukee. Thanks, gentlemen.
Thank you.